Folks, we got a gentleman that hails in San Diego, California. He's a single father, raising a beautiful daughter, and matter of fact, doing such a great job of it. I always admire him for that. He's got one of the biggest regional directors organization down in the San Diego area. He's also a guest speaker for the month of November, every particular Tuesday. We love his antics, but he also loves his teaching. He will be this Saturday. His team will be doing my leadership call this Saturday. Him and Miss Marie B on there. How you doing, Marie B? And his organization. So without further ado, from San Diego Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Thomas. First of all, before I even get started, I just want to give it back to Mr. Thomas. And I want to let everyone know that, I mean, just to be able to have him, to be able to talk to him, the things he's been able to share with me in confidence, the things that he's been able to teach me about his growth as a human being, as a man, as a father, and then pour into me so that I can take that to the people I love the most, including my team, has been nothing short of a blessing. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you for allowing me to be on this platform and to share with everyone some of my thoughts on success, on mindset, and on building a business that will take you into the next stratosphere. So what I want to do today is I really want to talk about closing out the month strong, and I want to talk about it in a little bit different way than normal. So we talk about closing out the month strong. Most people think about the end of the month, the bonuses going away, things like that. But what I want to do is I'm actually going to talk about the day and the time period and certain things that you can get into a habit of closing out so that by the time you get to closing out the month, it's simple. Plus, I want to add in a few tips that are going to help you to create massive momentum from what you're doing throughout the month. So that way, when you get into the new month, which is going to be showing up here tomorrow, you'll be able to get the results. But before I do, I haven't done this in a while, but just to give you a little bit about my background so we're not complete strangers. Prior to getting involved with ACN, I was a senior systems engineer. I was working 80 to 90 hours a week at my job. I was averaging 50 to 60 flights a year, and I really didn't have a lot of time for myself or my family. But good fortune came my way. I was introduced to this business by my first mentor in this industry who shared with me a system. That system that ACN put together allowed a crazy busy individual like me to leverage it. It allowed me to build a business part-time and spare time in the cracks of my schedule, which enabled me ultimately to come home to my family and become the type of father that I felt my daughter deserved. So again, what I want to do is we're going to talk about closing out strong. But first, what I want to do is I'm going to bring up a quick video, and this video is about 4 minutes long. And what you're going to see is one of my first mentors, someone that I listen to every single day in the car on a CD. So this is old school, right? So I listen to him every single day, something he did called Challenge to Succeed. This is a quick clip, but this is talking about doing more than you get paid for. And you're going to understand why afterwards. So I'm going to come back up right after. Let's get to the video.
My father taught me way back, son, always do more than what you get paid for. Now, some individuals might argue with that. They'd say, no, you're going to mess up the whole program. I know they're wrong. In my own self-interest, I did what my father taught me, to always do more than I got paid for. Why? To make an investment in my future. Do more than you get paid for to make an investment in your future, and it's paid off for me. If you're wanting that big promotion, are you going to go up to your boss and say, just give it to me? I'll work harder if you just give me that promotion. No, it doesn't work that way. You've got to do more in your current position so that you get noticed, so you stand out from everybody else. So the boss says, hey, we've got this position opening up, and I think we should give it to Nancy. She does so much more than we expect. Just imagine what she'll do if we give her this promotion. You've got to do more than you're paid for. You've got to. It's an investment in your future. It's one thing to make a sale. I'm telling you, if you make a sale, you'll make a living. All of us have found ways to make a living. What got interesting for me early on was to figure out ways to make a fortune. You'd say, well, Mr. Rohn, how would I deserve to make a fortune? It's easy. Render fortunes of service. People will do things you cannot believe for people who give them good service. Here's one of the greatest gifts you can give anybody, the gift of attention. In return, they will do extraordinary things for your career, take you by the hand, and lead you to more people than you could meet by yourself. Always do more than you get paid for. Life responds to deserve, not need. Life was not designed to give us what we need. Life was designed to give us what we deserve. Once you understand that little life principle in your own self-interest, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. The ancient law does not go like this. If you need, you will reap. No, it doesn't work that way. A lot of people out there are hoping it works that way, but no, it doesn't. The ancient law goes like this. If you plant, you will reap. If you sow, you will reap. Somebody says, well, I really need to reap. Well, then you really need to plant in your own self-interest. Your own self-interest needs to be educated in how to plant, how to do it so everybody wins, because life doesn't respond to need. You can't go to the soil and say, I need a crop. The soil just smiles at you. And here's what the soil says. Don't bring me your need, bring me some seed. Bring me some effort. Bring me some discipline. Bring me some interest. Bring me some service. Bring me these things, and I'll return to you multiplied by 2 times, 5 times, 10 times. You can't come with need. You've got to come with seed. You've got to come with willingness. You've got to come with skills. You've got to be willing to learn, willing to change, willing to grow, willing to put yourself out, willing to stand up to the bad weather, willing to pull out the weeds, willing to nurture. That's the only way you get a return. Once you understand these principles, self-interest now truly becomes an exciting challenge, making sure everybody wins. Enlightened self-interest makes sure that everybody wins.
All right. So how many of you love that? I love Jim Rohn. He is amazing. He talks simple, but the concepts are profound. You don't need to bring your need. You need to bring your what? You need to bring your seed. And that means you need to bring your work ethic. You need to bring something to plant, whether it's an idea, and you need to back that idea up with the work of planting the seed. And you need to plant more than what you expect to harvest. See, if you listen to Jim Rohn and as he goes further into this conversation, which I recommend and challenge to succeed, he goes further in and he says, you need to plant more. Farmers don't plant exactly what they want to harvest. They need to plant more because they know some of the seed is going to be taken by the birds. Some of the seed is going to hit a hard or not the best soil, and it's not going to grow. Some of the seed isn't going to do what it needs to do. But if you plant more than what you need, you're going to be able to get a great harvest. And that goes in how you close. Remember last week, I was talking about how you close to enroll. This week, I'm talking about how to close out strong, how to finish. So let's take the word close and let's replace it with the word finish. How do you finish strong? Well, you've heard probably about finishing strong in the gym. How do you finish strong? You push and you do a little bit more than you think you can do. And if you have a philosophy of doing one more or a little bit more than you think you can do in the time frame that you're working, or the end of the day, or the end of the hour, and the end of the week, and you have a consistent habit of doing at the end of whatever it is you're finishing, when you finish strong, it's pushing and doing more than expected. And if you were to connect that with what Jim Rohn is talking about, doing more than what you get paid for, something he said that was powerful in the video is, we don't get paid based on what we need. We get paid based on what we deserve, based on putting in the work, based on doing more than the person on the left and the right of you, consistently doing more when you finish out your work period, consistently doing more when you finish out the day, consistently doing more when you close out your Friday, you close out your month and your quarter. And when that becomes a habit of doing a little bit more every single time you work, and you finish strong at the end of it, what will ultimately happen is that will compound, and it will create momentum in your planting of your seed. And what will happen is, when it's time to reap what you've planted, when it's time to reap what you've sown, you'll be able to take in a massive harvest. But I want you to know something, ladies and gentlemen. When you take in a massive harvest, the harvest doesn't harvest itself. See, you plant the seed and then it grows. And because you did the work and you were meticulous and you did it consistently each week, at the end of the month, when it comes to ACN, you have this great harvest. But the only way to get the harvest is actually to do the work in harvesting. So what does that look like in ACN? Well, see, in ACN, when we close out the month strong, that means that we know that the bonus is going away. Every single one of you understand that ACN's best bonus that they've ever placed on the table is coming to an end this month. And chances are, because they kept it for 2 months, that it won't be as great next month in December. So we have an opportunity in the month of December, or month of November, to get everyone who is interested in the opportunity through the fall months to revisit ACN in the last week and the last day of the month, so that we can get them enrolled and they can have 30 days to capture the best bonus that there ever was the entire year of 2021. And so that's the kind of language that I'm using when I'm contacting people and I'm letting them know that it's going away. Well, why am I letting them know that the bonus is going away? Because people will do more when they stand to lose something than when they stand to gain something. So I'm using fear of loss. People do more when they stand to lose something than when they stand to gain. So when you understand that, and you know that the bonus is ending, and you allow people to have the opportunity to get in now and take advantage of it, something else that you give them is exclusivity, because they know they're going to be able to get something that the people that come after them won't be able to get. So you have fear of loss working for you. You have exclusivity working for you, all because of the timing of the month. And if you were doing and closing out the time that you work in a day, and you've been closing out the week and doing just a little bit more in the day and in the week, by the time you get to the end of the month, you've shared the opportunity with enough people, like I mentioned last week, that'll allow you to leverage and reach out to everyone that's going to be in the business and say, hey, look, I have so-and-so starting, and I know you were going to start next week, or I know you've been thinking about it. But if you decide to get in right now, I will be able to place so-and-so in your team, which means structure-wise, you're already closer to earning the $700 bonus that is going away at the end of the night, because it's the last day of the month. And I want you to understand that this is something that we mastered, something that we did as a team. And what would happen is, at the end of the month, because of all the people that we talked to, just doing a little bit more, we would have 5, 6, 9, 10, 12 people. I think the highest that I did in one day is 13 people enrolling because we shared the business. We shared the value in getting involved right now, making a decision and being urgent right now so that they can capture the bonus. And because of that, we were able to get even people that people that said this wasn't for them, but they were smart enough to understand an opportunity to having a team already get involved with the business. And some of those people that said it wasn't for them saw the simplicity in the building of the business, the simplicity in becoming a customer, and they started to engage and become a willing participant and ultimately become leaders in the business. Because they had a fear of loss, it brought them in, but then they were able to see the value and the opportunity. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is this, that at the beginning of each month, ACN does a special executive team leader training for new ETLs and existing ETLs. And the new ETLs, they actually get recognized by ACN, by Mr. Greg Provenzano himself, by co-founder Mr. Greg Provenzano. They're going to get recognized at that particular leadership. They're going to hear from Mr. Tony Kupis, who is the best trainer in the company. He's the one that trains the Circle of Champions members. He trains the top producers in ACN. Him and his brother are the reason why ACN is expanded into every single country on all the continents. So imagine this. Imagine your newest people being promoted to a position that allows them to earn a $700 bonus and then being able to get trained by the best trainers and the ownership of the company in the first week of the month. What is that going to do to your business? How is that going to shape the vision of your newest people? How is that going to help them to know exactly what to focus on when they're building the business in the beginning of the month? So why am I saying all this? Because the next part of closing out the month strong is rallying your people that joined in the month of November, and in making sure you as a leader inspect what you expect. And I know Marie is going to smile when I say this, but as a leader, it's our job to do everything in our power to get our people that joined in the month of November to executive team leader before the executive team leader training that ACN is doing in the beginning of December for several reasons. Number one, all the reasons that I just shared with you on how important it is for a new person. Number two, in doing so, it creates momentum. Because if every single person, if you do whatever it takes to get your newest people to executive team leader from November, that means 100% of the people that joined in November are qualified. What does that mean? That means the existing leadership, your existing ETLs are all getting paid. What does that also mean? That means your new ETLs are all 100% getting the $700 bonus. And that's going to create excitement and confidence in your existing leadership and your new leadership. And then what happens? Those ETLs are all in position in the month of December to make money. And guys, I'm going to tell you what, when you have a taste of the money and you know you have the entire month to make money, there is a difference in a sense of excitement and a sense of urgency. When those ETLs give a testimonial, it's completely different. It pulls people in, and there is an energy that's there that isn't if you didn't focus on pushing. And here's my philosophy. I will push and push someone to an ETL to get the $700 bonus, because I know that pushing may not be comfortable, but that 700 will erase that discomfort, and that discomfort will go from discomfort to excitement. That excitement will go from excitement to momentum, and that momentum will create more confidence, and it will start to build their businesses. So That's important. That's one of the reasons why you want to get it done. The other reason why you want to get it done is in a time frame. I've talked about this before. There's a time for everything. And there are some leaders that still haven't figured this out. So here's what happens. They have a spark, they build momentum, and then it disappears. And Mrs. Jocelyn Driscoll, she's been around forever. I know you know what I'm talking about. Mr. Thomas, you definitely know what I'm talking about. It's like they get it on accident. They don't know how to keep it. And here's why. It's because they're not doing the right things at the right time. They're throwing spaghetti on the wall. So I want to give you something to do the right things at the right time. And one of those things is dealing with your qualifications. So like I've mentioned before, we focus on executive team leader, and CQ happens by default. If we focus on CQ, the best thing that can happen is CQ. But if someone doesn't reach CQ, they feel like they failed, they haven't made any money, and they haven't qualified, which means it doesn't release money for your new leader. And so because it doesn't release money for them or the new leader is not excited. The new person is definitely not excited, and your momentum flatlines. So the focus is really to get people to executive team leader as quickly as possible. And the people that joined in November that haven't gotten to executive team leader yet, you want to focus, like I said, on closing that out before the ETL leadership, so that they can be on there. Now, real quick, some tips on the ETL leadership, because it's virtual, something that I used to do when we used to all be together. I would nudge my executive team leaders. I would say, "Do you hear this?" I'm excited because I know what's going on in the ETL leadership. And I remember the first time that I witnessed it. So what I recommend is that you do a group text for your ETLs. And when they qualify for ETL leadership, you do a group ETL leadership. You can do it on Messenger. You can do it on WhatsApp. If you have an iPhone, you just do it on iMessenger. If you want to get fancy, you can do a watch party and have everyone on Zoom excited. But however you do it, make sure there's a connection, because that connection is lost when it's virtual. So for the record, if you see me texting while I'm on a 9 a.m. call like this, it's because as a leader, I'm staying connected with my team and still continuing to do that nudge like I would in person. So I highly recommend it because it allows you to stay connected and engaged with your team. So the reason for it is, as a leader, when you're doing the ETL leadership, if you're the ETL and you have all your new ETLs, you want to stay connected into the excitement. And at the end of the leadership, you schedule the plan of action that you're going to take afterwards. Okay, so that means that everyone that was on the leadership, the worst thing you can do is have a great leadership. Everyone's excited and have no plan of action after the leadership. So what you want to do, you and your existing leadership, is you want to already know what the plan of action is that you want to take, so that at the end of the leadership, through your text, through your watch party, you're scheduling business. It's in the calendar, and you're promoting PBZs, launches, and identifying who needs to be qualified by the 7th. Now, this is something new to everyone on this call. This is not new to my team. And this is the reason why we're able to take a step up in momentum each month, starting from the spark. We understand something. It's psychological, okay? If you have a lot of business that happened in November, and fast forward to tomorrow and we're in December, right? If you're still cleaning up November, meaning looking for people to get them qualified to wrap up November, while you're in December, psychologically, you're living in the past. You're not able to focus on December until you get November accomplished. So our rule is we get everything cleaned up. And remember, we're not thinking qualifications like others. We're getting everything cleaned up. So our mission is to get everyone to ETL who started in November before the December ETL leadership. But our drop dead date of everyone from the month prior becoming ETL is to have it done no later than the 7th day of the current month. All right. 7th day of the current month is in alignment when ACN refreshes their system and shows the production charts. So we do everything in alignment with ACN, and it just makes sense. Now we have the majority of the month to focus on helping people that are getting started in this month, December, versus the past month, November. So that is that's some heavy leadership. So if you didn't get it, what I really want you to do is, hopefully, Jabri, I know you got my back, bro. Hopefully he can get this set up quickly. We did something, so he probably will have this particular video put up immediately. But what I want you to do is go back and listen to what I'm saying. So 100% of the people that joined in November, your focus was, we need to get you to ETL, right? Close out the month strong by doing what? By making sure those people that are running for ETL, we're helping them to enroll as many of their friends and family as they can, so those people that they love can take advantage of the bonus that is what? That is going away, okay? We want to get all those new people, as many of them as we can, all of them if we can, to ETL before the ETL leadership that takes place in the beginning of December. And we want to make sure that all those people that are running for ETL, if some don't make ETL by the leadership, we get them closed out no later than the 7th of the month we're in. So everyone from November, close out to ETL by the 7th. And here's why. Psychologically, it allows you to focus on the month that we're in December. With all those people being promoted to ETL by the 7th, that means all of those people got promoted to ETL within their first 30 days. And in doing so, you have excited new leadership, most of which have been trained by the co-founders and recognized by the founders of the company. So they see how big this really is. And it's leading into a new month where they've gotten paid, and they know that it's real because they got the direct deposit. When you have all of that, and now you're focused in the month that you're in, you can level up in your explosiveness, aka momentum. Now, something to add fire or add fuel to the flame is the fact that in December, we're going to be having another huge event. We're having the Emerge event, as well as we're having the virtual event. So you have the opportunity to have those things add fuel to the fire. And if you really want to focus on doing the right things at the right time, do that now. Because something special that is the X factor that happens only in the month of December is the fact that people are going to start reflecting. They're going to start reflecting on the month. They're going to start reflecting on the year. And then they're going to start thinking forward on the things that they want to accomplish next year. And they're going to be thinking about ways they can accomplish it. So that if you're communicating with people about the business, that is the right time, right action, right month, X factor, mindset of people looking into the future, wanting to be better than they were this year. And speaking to you is going to allow them to do that through ACN. So all of those things create a whirlwind of opportunity or chance of momentum if you decide, like Jim Rohn said, to just do more than what you get paid for. Remember, the soil doesn't answer to need. The soil answers to seed. And you have a harvest that you can reap, but the reaping takes work. The reaping is making sure that everyone that you planted closes out to ETL so that it can create a surplus, and it'll allow you to create momentum going into 2022. Because here's what I know. Those of you that are going to work right now are going to have the best 2022 ever. Don't forget, like the shirt says, I know what we talked about is a little weird, but being weird is something I would rather be, because being normal doesn't pay well. And so with that being said, Mr. Thomas, I will turn the call back over to you. I appreciate you again for allowing me this platform to speak to everyone. And ladies and gentlemen, close out this month strong. Go back and watch this video so that you can make this the best close of the year ever and learn to finish strong in every single thing you do. Mr. Thomas, the call is yours.